Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle here, and today I'll be talking about the PlayStation Vita and what I think Sony should be doing to try to save the system, because it's no secret, the Vita isn't doing the greatest. It hasn't actually ever done well. Even at launch, it just never really picked up, and we've given it about a year and a half and it still hasn't budged. It's just stagnating, and that is not a good sign. So I have two relatively easy solutions that I think would really, help and save the Vita and bring new life into it. And that could be the slogan for this. They need to have an announcement, and they need to a huge announcement, and the slogan would be bringing new life into the Vita and really let everybody know about what they're going to do. Number one is a price drop. Goddamn, price drop that thing, because ever since the beginning, people just were afraid to buy this thing because it was just so goddamn expensive. When you look at its counterpart, its main rival is the 3DS, and the 3DS, the regular edition, is $170, the XL is $200, and the suggested retail price for the Vita is $250. So already, the lowest 3DS is $50 cheaper than the Vita, and the other one is $80 cheaper. Big difference there. Now, not only should they be price dropping the system, but they should also price drop the memory sticks, because you have to buy one if you want to be playing video games. And if you're going to be playing a lot of video games, 32 gigabytes, which is the highest one, might be better suited for you, and that runs you $100. So not only do you have to spend $250 for the Vita, you have to spend $100 if you go for the 32 gigabytes as well. So that's $350, and that's $150 more than the most expensive 3DS without adding in any games. You could buy 3 games for the 3DS, and you still won't be at what it would cost to buy the Vita and the 32 gigabyte memory stick. So price drop that shit and soon. I would suggest $200. If you can go a little bit lower, $180 would be optimal. But if not, $200, because for the most part, retail stores are selling the Vita for about $200, or the suggested retail price is $250 in a bundle with a game, because it's just not selling. And the thing is that, okay, that's great, they are having sales, and you can pick up a Vita generally for about $200, if not, or around that, give or take. The thing is, though, that a regular Joe Schmo that's walking into Best Buy or Future Shop doesn't necessarily know that there's a sale for the Vita going on. So if you make it known across the board, Vitas are going to be a maximum $200. Boom! Everybody knows it's a price drop. It's a positive thing. Developers are going to see that, and they're going to think, okay, well, you know what? The Vita's dropping. Maybe that's a good thing. More people are going to buy it. Now we can make more games for it. It's a win-win for everyone, other than maybe Sony. But I mean, they're not making any money right now from the Vita because it's just not selling. Next one. Do the price drop on the memory sticks. It is ridiculous that they are trying to charge $100 for the 32 gigabyte memory stick. And all the other versions, the smaller versions, they're also really expensive. The best would be a 50% drop on all the sticks, no matter what the price is. So, the 32 gigabyte would go from $100 to $50. That would be the best option, but I think that's a little bit too much and a little bit too extreme. So I think that a drop of 20 to 25% is a little bit more realistic for Sony to do. Do that, drop the system, drop the memory sticks, and I think you're going to see more people be willing to buy the Vita. Because every once in a while when there would be a big sale, it would sell a lot. On Black Friday, it sold a lot. Boxing Day sold relatively well in Canada. So just do a drop like that. Next up, number 2, is another big thing with the Vita, is the amount of games that is on there. The Vita doesn't really have an identity. In my opinion, the first year was kind of okay. The first 10 months, there was a good amount of games. No great games. There's only like 2 games that I think could be considered, really well known with the Vita. That would be Uncharted Golden Abyss and Gravity Rush. Other than that, maybe Persona 4, but that's a remake of a game that's already been made on the PS2. So not a big thing. There's nothing wrong with remaking a game, especially in an HD manner, but it has to be a big title. So my suggestion would be to make more games to give the Vita exclusives and an identity. The Vita needs that. That's how you sell a system. You need exclusives and big exclusives. Best one, Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories sold over 7 million copies. That's amazing. It's in top 5 for most sold games on the PSP. And imagine what a powerful Vita system with a Grand Theft Auto on there. It would look amazing. It would be better than the PS2 games, and You don't necessarily need to make a new Grand Theft Auto game, although I would suggest doing that. You know, spin off Grand Theft Auto 5, make a Grand Theft Auto 5 continuation, or just make a completely new Grand Theft Auto for the Vita specifically, or remake Vice City or San Andreas in HD. Two of the most beloved Grand Theft Autos, guaranteed would sell on the Vita. If Grand Theft Auto isn't enough, you have to also get the Japanese market, and in my opinion, Monster Hunter. If you can't get the rights to Monster Hunter 4 because it might be a 3DS exclusive, try your best for that, you know, give everything you got for that. If not, Monster Hunter Freedom 4, because the PSP used to have Monster Hunter Freedom, Freedom 1, 2, and 3. 3 I did not think came over to the West, but it still sold well in Japan. So, Monster Hunter 4 Freedom. There you go, problem solved. There you got your Monster Hunter, you're appeasing the Japanese market. Another thing that could really help the Japanese market is more RPGs, big RPGs, something like Final Fantasy. It would be. I'm glad that, you know, they are remaking Final Fantasy X and X-2 in HD, and it is being released on the Vita, but it's not a Vita exclusive. That's the thing. You need to make it exclusive. Don't put it on any other system. Do not touch the PS3. I know Sony is part of PS3 as well, but the PS3 is doing perfectly fine on its own. You don't need to touch that anymore. You don't need to sell that system anymore. Vita, on the other hand, sell the crap out of this system. Another one that I thought was really surprising, Daxter, is the 5th best-selling PSP game. I don't know. So make maybe another Jak and Daxter or another Ratchet and Clank. I think Jak and Daxter on the Vita would be perfect because they haven't made a new one since the third one, back on the PS2. So a true sequel to that, or just even on its own, kind of like what they did with Uncharted Golden Abyss. Call it Jak and Daxter something else. Boom. There you go. People are going to buy that. Ratchet and Clank, God of War. Bring those titles over to the Vita. It'll start selling. It'll start pushing units. People go crazy for exclusives, and especially those series. We love those series for a specific reason. And the final thing, the final game that I think that they should bring is Gran Turismo, because racing games actually sold really well on the PSP. Gran Turismo, I think, was 10th best-selling, and a little bit above that was Midnight City or Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. I don't know what it was called, but another one of the racing games, and I was like, okay, apparently it did really well on the PSP. So you need to kind of hit all the big branches. So I think a Gran Turismo, because it has such a marquee value to its name, bring that over to the Vita. Gran Turismo Vita, boom, there you go. Grand Theft Auto, Jak and Daxter, Monster Hunter Freedom 4, and Gran Turismo Vita. Put those 4 games and guaranteed the system will sell a lot better. So anyway, and it will bring new life to the Vita, and that would be your slogan for the major announcement of price dropping and these 4 games coming out. So let me know in the comments below what you think the Vita should do, if you agree, disagree, if you have your own thoughts or opinions, or what games you would like to see on the Vita. That would be an interesting one, because I personally, and I've always said this, I would love to see Legend of Dragoon HD on the Vita. I'd go insane. I would pay $150 for a collector's edition of that. Guaranteed. Anyway, you've been Bearded, and thanks for watching, everyone. Beard Edge!